Hi everyone and welcome to 1/6 Figure Focus, and you're very welcome to episode number 9 of Visions, where every single episode I sit down with a different collector and discuss the past, the present and the future of their collecting journey. Now this next guy, he's kind of an alias. Like sometimes he turns up as Ben, sometimes he's the attention-seeking geek, sometimes he turns up as the Grand Inquisitor. I honestly don't know what you're going to get today, so I'm just going to bring him in and have a chat with him. Ben, how are you?
Just Ben today. I'm sorry to disappoint. I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm all right. I had a very, very good day. Hit a milestone. Things are good. And put together a video which last week I did it in one take, 28 minutes, and my camera stopped recording after 10, so I did it again today. But I'm glad. I think it's turned out
that's
better.
Heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking when that happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah, imagine that happening and you're in a costume and you did a whole bloody comedy sketch, and then something goes wrong and you have to redo it. Yeah, it's tough. I've been there. I've been there.
You've been there. I think YouTubers know. So, just before we get started, I want to tell a little story. Okay, it just popped into my head today. Years and years ago, I was interrailing. I think it was in Barcelona or something like that. And I was watching one of the street performers. Now, this guy had a crowd. Like, he must have easily had over 100 people in a circle around him. He was doing everything. He was swallowing knives. He was juggling. He was juggling things on fire while backflipping. He was basically an athlete and highly skilled. The type of skills you just don't, I'm just good at this. The type of skills that he must have honed for an entire lifetime. And the crowd were loving it. I was mesmerized. The people I was with were blown away. Everyone was cheering. It was amazing. It's one of the standout street performances I have ever seen. And right at the end, after him just doing some crazy stuff, I think ran and jumped over 3 people, backflipped while juggling something. It was insane.
Easy.
So right at the end, he said, "Look, folks, I love what I do. It took me a long time to get these skills, And everyone was like, yeah, well, definitely. He said, but this is my job. It's not just that I love doing it. I love performing. I love building my skill set. But this is my job. You know what I mean? If I don't get paid, I don't eat." And he said, many of you might just clap and you might enjoy the show and you might just walk away. And that's perfectly fine. You don't have to give me any money. But then he said, but if you walk away, you've basically just seen the show for free. And it really resonated with me. And I was like, that is so true. And I was interested at the time. I didn't have much money, but I put the hand in the pocket and got a $5. And because the way he put it across, not only was the show good, but he kind of made you think about so I was going to walk away. I genuinely was going to walk away. I was oh, that's amazing. But he totally just made you think you've just seen a show for free. And being YouTuber is kind of like that as well. So if you're watching it right now, exactly. If you're watching right now, we're not asking for anything. All you got to do is drop a comment, say where you're from, or click that subscribe button. Or even better, I really appreciate if you haven't followed Ben, the Attention Seeking Geek, on YouTube, or follow him on Instagram, just leave, go and do that, and then come back. Well, I won't be friended. But just over the course of the live stream, if you haven't subscribed, maybe you'll consider it, because as much as we both love making content, I'm sure we're the same. It does take a lot of time, and all we're asking is just hit that sub button and interact, because we greatly appreciate it. So now we're finished. We'll address the chat and we'll get started. So we have Figurassic Park, definitely a staple in my live streams and a staple in the community. Absolute legend. Yeah, doing the old T-Rex. We have Peter, Triple G Comics. We have William Owens, again, very, very consistent member in the chat. Really appreciate you. And the same as Leighton Richards. We have KG Collector, who I believe is in England now. I think he's doing a bit of traveling. Perfect timing. Nice. Gives me a chance to take the burger off the grill. Happy days. Now I'm getting hungry. T-Ria, again, another consistent member of the community. Thanks for being here. Commander Green, how you doing? Commander Green says hello to Shane and Ben separately. That's the type of interaction we want. 2 comments, better for the algorithm. We have 2 of the nicest collectors in the community in one stream. I'm not that nice. Have you not seen my Toys Wonderland video?
Horrible people.
Thanks very much. I appreciate that. We appreciate that. UK sit, evening on. It's my bedtime, but I decided I'm going to live on the edge and watch the stream. You are wild. You are wild.
It's my bedtime. This is one of the latest streams I've ever done in my life. This is well past my bedtime. I know.
You need to cut that stuff out by the time we get to celebration. 1/6 arts. I don't think I've seen. I think I've seen you in other things before. I haven't seen you in the stream before. But yeah, how are you getting on? Glad you're here. So Ben, you know the drill. We're going to discuss the past, or more like you're going to discuss the past, the present, and the future of your collecting journey. And obviously, it makes sense that we start off with the past. And over the course of an hour or so, you are going to hear the following sound. You know this already. You're going to hear it 5 times, in which case I'm going to ask you a focus question. And I will cut you off mid-sentence because I just think it's fun. So.
It's probably for the best, let's be honest.
All right, Ben. So are you relatively new to the collecting 1/6 collecting side of things?
I am. Yeah, I am a baby. I look like a baby, and I am a baby. Yeah. Could you outline, like, how did you stumble across 1/6 scale? What was your first 1/6 scale? Was it a hot toy? Was it a third party? How did you feel about that price tag? What made you think, like, oh yeah, this is something I could get into? What was your first one? Who did you buy it from? Just outline the process, because that's probably one of the most interesting things that I find about these conversations, how it started. What was the straw that broke the camel's back? What was that, just that little bit of ignition that killed your wallet for the foreseeable future? Over to you. What pushed me down the well, and now I
first one was free,
out.
Was it?
I wish. So it was about just over a year and a half ago. So obviously we're in the midst of pandemic situation and things. I think I was probably on furlough at the time. So of course, you know, you've got this money coming in, not free. I'll be paying tax on that for the rest of my life, guys. But I wasn't commuting into work. I was getting money. We weren't going anywhere. So, you know, there was cash to be spent and to try and make myself feel better amongst everything that was going on. So I kind of always had Hot Toys like on my radar. Like I'd always admired from afar, you know, like, because I've been going to Comic Cons and stuff like that for, you know, well over sort of 10 years or so. So, you know, I'd always seen them at conventions and stuff like that, and just thought they were gorgeous, but they were just never a possibility for me. Like they were just never where they probably would have been. You know, if I worked out the amount of 1/12 scale that I bought, you know, it would have just been 4 of those, you know, and it would have meant that I could have got a 1/6 scale. But of course, you never think like that. So yeah, I never sort of, made the jump, but I made the jump about a year and a half ago. And my first one was the Captain America Star Spangled Man Hot Toys. And the reason I went for that is obviously as you can see behind me, I'm a fan of Cap, and the figure came up at a really good price. It was sort of just over like 100 quid, I think, on like eBay at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, like so.
And is that from? That's from the first Avenger, the first one. So that's his first suit.
It's his like propaganda suit, you know, and they have him kind of punching Hitler and stuff at the you know, at the parade and things. So I always loved that outfit because it was obviously lifted completely from the books and put onto the screen in a kind of, you know,
clever way.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, but them reenacting him kind of hitting Hitler and stuff, it was a way to kind of tribute that original cover without it actually happening, because that might have been a little bit too on the nose. So I always loved that, and I loved the kind of promotional poster they did where he's kind of like pointing like, we need you know, Uncle Sam style. Very apt for today. Happy July the 4th, America. So yeah, it was a figure that I was instantly drawn to, and when it came, I've actually got a video review on my channel. When it came, it was it was a game changer. It was a game. I'd never felt anything like that in my hands before, in terms of like detail, quality, the kind of difference between the material and the plastic, and how it all kind of interacted with each other and kind of made this final composition that just looked like high class. It just looked like a museum piece. It looked like
they scream quality.
Yeah, unbelievable. And when you do, because before that, Marvel Legends, NECA, as is pretty much tradition on this show, a lot of people collect 1/12, before they go on to the 1/6, and it obviously it feels, it's bigger, and that kind of means that the overall impression is a little bit more striking, but the quality is there as well, with it. And I kind of knew from that moment I was in it for the long run, really. And I think my next one I picked up was like a Shatari foot soldier, because again, it was just cheap. I was just looking to acquire Hot Toys however I could, and obviously I needed a connection to the story, and Avengers is the Avengers, and that means the world to a lot of us nerds. So the Shatari is still part of that, and I still kind of wanted that. I have since sold that, but again, at the time I just kind of wanted to kickstart that collection, and in turn it's kind of meant that I've been able to kind of trade stuff in that I got earlier to get exactly what I want, and exactly what I want represented in my collection. So and the foot soldier, like, once I had it, I wanted the second one or a third one or a fourth one, because you want to kind of army build that, and that wasn't going to happen. But so there were a random couple of figures to start off with, but that was the start of my journey. But
so
I mean, when I was little,
go on.
When I was little, like, I used to collect the the vintage size Star Wars figures and stuff. So that was probably the very start of like my collecting bug.
The ones they came in the card and the little plastic shell. And would that have been like? Would you say have started collecting, say, the remastered, digitally enhanced Star Wars trilogy around then, because they brought out a load of stuff for that, or was it like episode 1 when they had the red packaging and stuff like that?
So it was, a lot of it was that remastered re-release. For me, I actually got into Star Wars. I had my parents recorded the when it was shown on TV, so they had it on VHS, and it was like, I vividly remember the news reports, and there was like, the AIDS pandemic was around at the time, and I'll always remember those videos being in between, and like the old Tango advert and stuff. Like, I've got very vivid memories of those VHS recordings. So I was massively into Star Wars already, and then they announced the re-release, and Lucas putting in his special effects here and there and stuff, and like, as a kid, that was a dream come true, because it was just like, oh, okay, more stuff, more cool things to look at. You kind of see past the cynical side of it when you were that age. And then, of course, Phantom Menace, when that came out, I would have been 12, I think. So, like, Jar Jar Binks, like, fart jokes, that was my jam. Like, so, like, that film was everything to me, and Darth Maul just completely captured my imagination on another level and stuff. So, those films, I was all in. But by that point, I had actually acquired figures already.
Sorry.
Just as I was getting going, Shane.
Sometimes, I know we'll get back to you. Depends on how quick you can answer this question. So just in case you've joined us, this is episode 9 of Visions. Every single episode, I sit down and have a chat with a different collector, and we discuss the past, the present, and the future of collecting journeys. So you're going to hear this about 5 times during the show where I ask a focus question to Ben. Sometimes I have them written out and sometimes they just come to me. So this one, I believe the best Star Wars lightsaber battle, as much as I'm not the biggest prequels fan, is Duel of Fates Episode 1. I think that is the best choreographed fight for numerous reasons. I think the choreography is brilliant. The combination of the different color lightsabers, the double-bladed lightsaber, the fact that Ray Parks actually can do that stuff, it just everything looks so natural.
Oh yeah,
what does you think in the whole Star Wars universe? You can include anything, prequels, sequels, Solo, Rebels, Clone Wars. What do you think, in your opinion, is the best lightsaber duel of all time?
Oh man, I think it's hard with where we're at with Star Wars now. You know, we do live in a time where you can have your Clone Wars and your Rebels, and you know, you can see these amazing things in animated form. I'll probably have to agree with you, to be honest, because I think that when the opera kicked in and we got that like and you know the moment he ignited the second part of it, you know, that was something that we'd always fantasized about but had never seen. Ray Park was actually the first person I ever met at a Comic-Con.
Cool.
Got a signature from and stuff, and so yeah, like I think that holds a place in my heart on so many different levels. So I'm probably, I mean, it kills me to do it, but I'm probably going to have to agree with you, Shane. But it won't happen again.
Yeah, Grant, this is the one. Your friend is in the chat, so we have Oliver Pilgrim, basically a saint. Great figure. Your vid on that is top notch.
My Captain America.
Right, yeah. When did you release that one? Was that?
It would have been about a year ago. Yeah.
I must actually go back and.
I mean, I've actually been on YouTube for 10 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it always the same channel name? Oh, and various different.
No, I've gone through various different rebrands, Shane, and I've been equally unsuccessful every time.
But you're going to hit 1,000. Like, you do realize it's going to happen.
Nice.
There is no question. It is going to happen, and it's going to happen this year. That is a fact. I'm not just saying it. I can see it. It's going to happen.
Okay. I like that. I like that you're putting that into the
ether.
To the ether.
Or what do the kids say now? Manifest this. And we're not going to manifest. They're just going to do it. We're just going to actually work hard and get stuff.
You know, my channel started originally as a joke love blog, like as a spoof love blog. After I went on, I went on Take Me Out. It's where I met my wife, and
really,
I started.
That was a brilliant story.
I started a spoof love blog after I went on it, because I kind of went on it and very much played an over-the-top version of myself. You know, I was very silly on it, and I thought, I'm gonna play on that a bit. So I did this joke love blog, and it was kind of like a horrible cross of like YouTube and Peep Show. Like, it was like point of view, and I got girls to reject me in clubs and stuff. It's very weird. They're all hidden now, by the way, guys. You cannot watch those videos. I have hidden them all.
That is really interesting. That's a cool story, though. So it was like, so you actually met your wife on Take Me Out, the TV show.
Yeah.
That is brilliant.
She said
and
no.
Now, look at you.
Just for the record, it took 5 years for me to grind her down into submission.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I'd love to pick up Rescue Cat, but the motorcycle is pricey now. Yeah, 6 scale cycles don't come by too often. That's why I jumped on that Batpod. As much as it's going to sit, I think when that's gone, it's gone. Love the rescue version. That one's on my list along with Red Skull. Peter is actually going hard at the Hot Toys the last few months. He told me the numbers he's been picking up, and he's picking up some of my Grails. I'm really jealous. But anyway, if Peter, if you're still watching here and you want me to, you want another member of your bank robbing heist team, if it pays well, I'm all about it. T800 each. You're going through this 6 scale gallery. How are you, man? Alan, the 6 scale gallery. We must get Alan on Visions as well. And if you haven't followed Alan on Instagram, please do. His photography is amazing. If you
annoyingly talented man,
so good. Oman Figurassic Park, that would be awesome. Vintage collection. So if I don't do this, I'll just lose track of the chat altogether. So Commander Graham, not too bad. Thanks for asking. Okay, I'm just going to go through the ones there. There's a lot of like people chatting with each other, which is great. I was a VHS kid too.
Yeah, 100%. All about that static VHS.
Yeah,
aesthetic.
Yeah, 100%. Going to the movie shop and renting the films and all that. This is how I watched Return of the Jedi multiple times when I was younger. Recorded on the VHS. Oh, you've really hit you've hit people in the nostalgia field, Ben.
I feel emotional talking about it. I know that sounds weird, but like it's you know, because ultimately my love for Star Wars set me on the path for everything that I still love now.
Side.
You know, to the dark side. Yes.
I would agree. I remember I have very vivid memories of going to my aunt's house, and she had loads of films recorded. I think she brought them from America. They were like bootleg, and watching Top Gun, I was obsessed with planes. And so watching Maverick last week was like,
I still haven't seen it.
You should sit down and watch Top Gun. It's basically Hollywood cheese at its best, but if you like planes, fantastic. A lot of testosterone though. A lot of like
I don't like planes and testosterone, so I'm not sure how well. But I do like Lady Gaga, and I do like her new jam for the new song.
I don't know.
Hold my hand.
I must actually hear it again. That's exactly what it sounds like. No, I haven't actually heard it.
Taught her everything she knows.
I've watched Mando versus Moff Gideon with the saber fight a few times. To be fair, I forgot about that. I like
about that fight that Mando's quite so sloppy with it, like, and he doesn't, you know, the weight of it and stuff. It was so different it's not perfect. To see. Yeah.
No likey, no lighty.
Yeah, there was quite a lot of no lighty.
That's that now I get the reference. Yeah, that Prime Patreon Ben, the content Ben. Yeah, that's funny. Return the Jedi. Luke faces Vader. Probably not the best choreographed, but I love the way the chat are just like getting involved without actually saying, you know, let us know what you think in the chat. That's 100%. What song did you come out to?
Played that funky music, White Boy.
I can totally imagine it. I really want to see this though. Everyone wants to see the footage, man. You need to put that up.
I've erased 1,000. I've erased it from the internet.
No, you still have a personal copy. I know you do.
I do.
This is part of your, like, you know, you need to, like, as a reward to everyone, when you hit the 1,000, drop that as well. That will go viral. This community, giving my husband the warmest hug, is just the best. Is this your wife?
Go to bed.
No, I want to see the footage, Grace.
My beautiful
I want
wife.
to see the footage. Like, I think you should reward your 1,000 loyal subscribers when it happens.
Okay.
And pop that up there just for, like, come on, we just
deal.
Yeah. You will make him blush, Grace. There we go.
She makes me blush every day.
Oh, you're just a charmer. That's what you are. No likey.
Well, I've got nothing else going for me, Shane, so I've got to have something. Charm.
Listen, you need to stop that with the negative self-talk, or we will not be friends anymore, right?
Okay.
Cut that out, right?
Sorry.
Why don't you do what the kids do and manifest stuff, yeah? You've been told. Sorry, I just feel like I scolded you there, but it was for a good cause.
Yeah. Sorry.
Right. So, talk to me.
Yes.
You had Cap was your first. You got a Shatari. What was the third one? I don't think I caught that, or maybe.
I can't even think now. The good thing about being a YouTuber is that if your memory does not serve you well, you can literally just look back at your videos. Because I did a lot of comic book content around that time. I was also collecting hero clicks, which are like really small figures that you can play a game with. I never played the game. I don't even know how to play the game, but they literally do every single character, like obscure reference, multiverse version from the comics in like tiny figure form. So I used to do like little showcases on those. So we got Shatari, and then I did get a Diamond Select Colossus statue, which was ripped from Trial of Colossus, which is like an old Uncanny X-Men. And he's kind of 1/6 scale, but it was a statue, so not really. Just trying to think. I think I had quite a big break then, like, so it probably wasn't. It was probably really recently where I really started to kind of get to the point. Oh, okay, Abe Sapien was probably my next one. The Hellboy Abe Sapien.
Ah, right.
Which was an absolute disaster. And Hellboy was a disaster. So both of them, they do not hold up well. Right. So Abe looks great if you just look at him. The costume is kind of faded a little bit and kind of flaking a bit in some areas, but if you touch that, the lightest touch, the oil or the paint or whatever it is, basically comes off in your hand.
Oh, right.
So if I touch him, it looks like I've played with an octopus or something, like I have black ink all over me.
And is that was that a third party or was it a Hot Toy?
Hot Toys, yeah.
So,
yeah. And then Hellboy came, and honestly, when I opened the packaging, it was like a Tales from the Crypt like episode or something, because the pleather on his trousers just kind of floated away in the wind
horrible.
And as I picked it up, like, so what I actually did, and I sort of do it in the video and stuff, but I took off all the pleather. So I rubbed off all the pleather, and it actually looks really presentable now. Like, it kind of looks like his trousers are supposed to be like that.
It looks a bit more velvety, I'd imagine, does it? Or
it just looks like a suede, like a grey suede, basically. So it's not ideal.
I've heard, I think it was Graham from the Jedi Night's Watch did something similar with the Dark Knight Rises Catwoman.
Okay.
So on the pleather thing, I don't have any pleather. I don't have any figures that are heavily pleather. I might have figures with a belt that has pleather, but I don't really lose sleep over it. But it's the DX-13, the Terminator 2 one, the battle damage one. I'd love to work backwards and get that, and I'd have a price in my head that I'd be willing to pay, which is, it's not cheap, but it's not astronomical either. But what's putting me off is if I buy that and I open it up and it's basically a dust show, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or would you could potentially get that for the head sculpt and then get that new third party one that has the real leather?
You see, I know people do that, but like, I'm always so skeptical, because the Hot Toys was made in one factory and that third party is made in another, and even though they're 1/6 scale, if one makes it slightly bigger and one makes it
feels like
smaller,
a kit bash.
Beetlejuice, you know what I mean? Like, just kick the Beetlejuice. Apparently they're making a Beetlejuice too.
I heard this with Johnny Depp was rumoured or something. I saw something crazy.
Imagine Tim Burton
like,
making
I'm
a film with Johnny Depp.
Like, obviously, I'm a massive Tim Burton fan, and Beetlejuice is like one of my favourites of all time, and it's been talked about for a long time. So I'm kind of just like, I'll believe it when I see it. With that, but I'd love for it to happen.
Yeah, I just I'd love to. I'm a big Burton fan as well. Like, Batman Returns, Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands. Like, he just makes beautifully strange films. Yeah. I always thought, right now, Nightmare Before Christmas, I always thought that was his jam, but apparently it's directed by someone else, and he was like a producer.
He just produced it. Yeah, he produced it.
I did not realize. I thought it was his.
Worked on designs and stuff. But I think it just feels so much like a Tim Burton film because of that, and obviously you got Danny Elfman heavily involved. But I mean, Batman Returns was again another film that I credit for being a geek now and loving comics and stuff. So that was like the thing that got me into Batman and got me into kind of superheroes and stuff. And I got very kind of personal fond memories because my grandpa used to have my grandparents always lived out in Spain, and he had a little study, and I basically just spent my whole holiday in this cold, dark study in the middle of Spain, just watching these films that my grandpa said, put this on, watch this, and Batman Returns was one of those, and I never looked back.
So he's like your Qui-Gon Jinn style mentor then.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's very creative, funny man. So I like to think.
Yeah, I love stories like that because it's kind of like your ignition. What you're like, how you got into movies and like part of it. Like I know it's not as simple as that, but definitely an influence that got you into that kind of pop culture, that movies kind of started you on that path, and nostalgia. You probably can't watch that movie now without thinking about your grandfather, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and Indiana Jones. Like, so I recently got the Present Toys Indie, and I got it to remember my grandpa, basically. Like, so yeah, it's amazing the power. And as you get older, you know, not to get too deep, but you obviously sort of. You can look back on childhood and stuff, and obviously there's some things you don't want to look back on, but like you can kind of look back on certain things and credit certain people for, you know, that element of your personality now, or that part of your life now and stuff.
Without a doubt,
it's
without a doubt.
It's you know, and obviously you never think like that when you're young, but as you get older, you kind of think like that more and more. So yeah. But he would have loved this stuff. He would have loved this stuff. He would have loved my indie and loved my Star Wars, and Hellboy probably would have been right up his street. And so.
Now that's cool. I like that you kind of giving that credit to that individual who kind of, come on, anyone who shows someone the Batman Returns, like A1. Now, comic book fans, Batman fans, movie fans have debated this since the dinosaurs, since the dawn of time, or more accurately, since 1966. You can see where this going. There is no right answer, but it is a very emotive. It's like in the 6K community, certain things will trigger people, like reissue, Toys Wonderland, in art. Like,
and you just love to poke the beast, don't you, Shane? You just love to poke the beast.
We're all grown men and women, and we collect toys. There's no need for us to be any more childish than we already are. So if you don't like something, you don't like something. But this one, I've seen heated debates on social media and stuff, because I that's why I don't watch, so I don't read. I can't read comments
popcorn,
anymore.
Like
it's just no. So my question is simple: who's your Batman?
Oh man, it's, you know what's hard is I think Batfleck was an incredible Batman, but I don't think he was a great Bruce Wayne. I think I think Nolan's Bruce Wayne was brilliant. And then with the Batman, like Pattinson, I think was like completely blew me away. Like he had no right to be as good as he was in the cowl as Batman. And I'm sat there going, you might be my new favorite Batman. Now, I don't think we've seen enough of his Bruce Wayne for me to make a decision on his Bruce Wayne. Like, we get a very young Bruce Wayne, someone who hasn't yet kind of embraced how to utilize his Wayne Enterprises alongside his work at night as Batman.
Yeah, so that's because he's spending a lot of time. He's still listening to My Chemical Romance. Give him a break, will you? Give him a break.
Just sat in the dark listening to Nirvana. But so I'm going to give Pattinson the next film, and that's his chance to like sway me on the Bruce Wayne thing. And if he nails Bruce Wayne stuff alongside the Batman stuff, then he might have, glided into my heart as my favorite Batman. But I know I've obviously said about Batman Returns and stuff, and I'm not massively keen on Keaton's Keaton's like Bruce Wayne.
Said no one ever, but you heard it here first on One Six Figure Focus, people. Where we get the truth. Really?
Yeah, really. Like, I don't.
Mad. Yeah.
I think that's because I don't know. I read a lot of comics, like, and so comics-wise, I am a Marvel fan and a Batman fan. Don't really do DC, other stuff with DC, but I read a lot of Batman and Marvel. And the comics for me, I've always been more drawn to those more kind of animalistic kind of, scary Batman, like, scary Batman who, you really are symbols of fear. And I just don't know whether Keaton kind of matched up with that. And then his Bruce Wayne, I just don't think is kind of charming or suave enough. Like, for me, Keaton, I don't know, for me, Keaton's Beetlejuice. Like, Keaton's a weirdo. Like, I kind of, I don't know. But on a nostalgia level, of course, seeing him in the cowl and stuff means a lot. And, I am going to welcome that return when we see it in the Flash and things. But, did Ben see the Peacock Wicket on the speeder bike today? So, I won't name names or embarrass anything, but...
oh no, hang on a second now. You still haven't answered my question. I'm not letting you away with it. You have to pick one, then you can read Keith's comment, and then everything will be fine. You see what you did there? Wangling your way out. So who is at the moment your Batman?
Yeah, but I can't because... So Pattinson's... Ben Affleck's my favourite Batman. And that's without even seeing him get a solo film. I just absolutely loved.
That's fair. You've answered the question.
The velocity of him and stuff. But then he wasn't. But then, Bruce Wayne in the Nolan trilogy. Like, I just feel like that kind of suaveness and things came across best through Christian Bale. Man, I still don't think we've quite got the perfection that I'm seeking from Batman yet.
I can see why.
And I'm waiting for my call, to be honest, Shane.
Well, look, that's a cosplay waiting to happen.
Where is he?
Yeah. So now you have my permission to, as Bain would say, read Keith's comment. Go on.
Did Ben see the Pickle Wicket on the speeder bike today, tempting him to pick up the bike for his future wicket? Yeah, as I said, I'm not going to mention names or anything, but a guardian angel has potentially picked me up a wicket for my birthday.
Brilliant.
So, of course, if that person is watching, they know my undying love for that individual, and I'm really excited to have it as part of my collection. We can maybe come back to it on the present thing,
cool.
And talk about curating and stuff. Yeah,
I'm intrigued.
Big part
Good
of that
stuff. The Hellboy pants, man. So someone who knows. Just got my Terminator. The outfit is fine, but the belts are a nightmare. Took all the pleather off, so now it's a brown belt. So this is obviously, I think it's the DX13. I think myself and Peter were messaging about that. Yeah, I really want that DX13, but yeah, if it's going to be a dust show, it's going to be like it's better placed in Wakanda during the snap or something. I've got the first Black Widow figure from Iron Man 2, great condition, but I've seen some for sale. All of the jumpsuit peeling, and it looks weird, but also kind of cool. Yep. In our Beetlejuice. Ben.
Oh man,
I love Beetlejuice, and I like Michael Keaton, Tim Burton. There's just too much to like about that movie. But a few years back, I think it was 2019. I went to New York and I went to see. They actually have a Beetlejuice the musical, and it blew my mind. I'm not a real musical type of person. So good. Were you joking, or are you aware of it? Or
no? Do you hear that sound? That beautiful sound. I'm a look. I'm camp as Christmas, Shane. You know me. And I love.
How did you? How did you know? Like, did you see it, or is it online, or?
and listen to the soundtracks.
But it was mind-blowing. Like, it was so good.
Yeah. Like the staging and things. Like, I've watched some clips and things, and I loved the original girl, Sophie. I forget the actress's name, but she's got a voice like she's Hayley from Paramore or something. Like, I love her tone and stuff. And yeah, like for me, like because I love musicals, so when there's like a musical that's like, you know, a musical version of a film that I love, it's just like it's a dream come true, because it just marries up two things that I love. So yeah, I'm sort of waiting with bated breath for that to come over to the UK, and I'll be all over that.
100%
and I may go in my costume.
I may travel to London and we can go together.
As long as you don't mind being seen next to me in costume.
No, not at all. Because I'm going to get one of those. I'm going to get like a suit with really big shoulders and do the guy with the small head. So, Christian
just
Lopez.
Like peeking out through the collar. You can look through the collar and then have a little. Yeah.
How are those? Is it June planning NBC figures?
Yeah. So, this was a decision I made last week, because these were in a box. They weren't getting loved, and I was like, do you know what? I'm going to bring them out and I'm going to give them some love. And I think the Moji case, like, this is one of the biggest kind of collections I have. So I thought, rather than have, you know, 3 figures, 2 figures from one franchise, you know, in a Moji case looking very isolated and very lonely, I might as well populate the Moji case as much as I can. So I got them back out, and I have got a Sally coming, and I've got a Frankenstein coming. They're a mix. So Jun Planning basically make them in Japan, I think, but then it's Diamond Select who, like, they come from the same factory, but they get put in Diamond Select like packaging for, you know, the US and European markets, I think. So yeah, some like I think these guys were Jun Planning, Lock, Shock and Barrel, and then the other 2 Diamond Select. But they're fantastic figures, and they're, whenever you order a Jack or a Sally, they come in like a coffin-shaped packaging, which is really.
I like that.
Touch.
That's a nice little touch.
Yeah. Spooky.
Shiny. I love stories like that too. It's cool having family into the same things as you, and it's nice having. I love hearing that origin. Obviously, like the origin we're talking about is like the 6 scale and collecting in general, but you went right back to the start for that little gem that kind of connected you to, you know, a comic book movie, which is basically a classic. I love that. Keaton, myself and Keith, one of the first voice notes he sent me actually on Instagram, Keith was like, yeah, I saw you in the panel there, you did well, but we're of the same vintage, and I thought surely Keaton would be your Batman. And Keaton, the 1989 Batman is the film that started it all. It's the first film I ever remember loving. I remember literally watching it when I was 6 going, I like this, and this is about Batman. And Mommy and Daddy seem to like it, and that's about Batman. So this is like a film that old people can like as well. You know what I mean? So, and it definitely, commercial. Yeah, he's fantastic. Like, he's just a quality 2 movies. Pity didn't get the 3rd, but for me, I always wanted to see how Batman could actually work in a real world, because the concept of a man who dresses up as a bat at night and beats people to death with his bare hands, instead of, enjoying his billions, is probably the most unbelievable part to me. But Nolan just successfully, as best as I think anyone can really do, worked out how it would work in a real world. Like those little scenes in Batman 100%. Begins where he orders the cowl and Kane smashes it. Problem with the graphite, sir. The next ones will be up to specification, or they order 10,000 of a piece that they only need 1 of, to avoid suspicion. Like, why are they getting all these things ordered to this one place in case someone puts it together? And I just like those little touches. But
that trilogy is. Yeah. And I know Dark Knight Rises gets some flack, but I think it's the perfect trilogy. Like I cannot.
Yeah, same. Yeah. It's my favorite trilogy.
When I went to see the Dark Knight, I honestly felt my heart rate increase during certain scenes. It actually tapped into my adrenaline that I don't think many films have done. Like I felt adrenaline as I watched those films. Absolutely 100%.
Yeah, I and you know what? Like, I'll sit down and I'll watch the Dark Knight, the trilogy, once a year because I don't want to overdo it. I just want I like when I've left it a year and it's like, you know, you still know every scene, but it's like I left it a year and it's still fresh, and there's still certain parts in the movie just they give me that shiver. They put the hairs up in the back of my neck, like just off the top of my head. In The Dark Knight Rises, where you don't see Batman for like the first, I don't know, half an hour or something like that, and he turns up and the cop realizes who it is. He goes, "Oh boy, you're in for a show tonight," and you see him flying by in the Batpod. I just think that's just amazing. Like,
music and everything.
Yeah,
just
the
marries
music.
up so well.
Yeah, totally agree, Ben. My mum saw every Star Wars with me up till Attack of the Clones when she passed away. She let me have an afternoon off school in '77 to see the original when I was 9.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, that's amazing. I really do appreciate you sharing that with us, Maverick.
And that displays the power of you know, films and you know, having those kind of emotional attachments to it. So that's you know, that's lovely that you will now forever be able to kind of watch those films and remember those moments. So yeah, very special. Thank you for sharing, man.
You're in good company, man. Thanks for sharing that. This is what it's all about. Like, you know, it's look, they're fantastic pieces of art. They definitely, like Ben said, tap into the adrenaline or the emotional side, but it's nice when you have that connection to a loved one, you have that memories. That's amazing. Thanks for sharing that.
And that's why when you know, if people dismiss figure collecting, oh, it's just a toy, it's just a figure. No, it's not. It can be so much more than that.
Yeah, 100%. There's Brother Cousins, who's going to be on the show next Monday, has some like just really fantastic stories about connections with his aunt and like how his brother
Oh.
That scared the absolute crap out of me.
It's the ghost of Brother Cousins. You know what? Mine went during one of Lael's Sunday streams the other day, and it just went behind me.
I remember that. That actually scared the crap out of me. I'll stick it up in a minute.
The funny thing is, I know how much that'll annoy you as a perfectionist as well.
You know, the funny thing is,
Shed's gonna be like that, like.
Yeah. I'm gonna stop now, but Bale for me, Alan.
Yeah.
I completely agree with Alan. Evening, Rude Boys.
Rude Boys.
It's just funny.
It's how we're known.
Yeah.
Love Fuzzy. Can I just say, Fuzzy Dunlop is one of the greatest kind of supporters of, you know, content creators and stuff, whether it be comic book or toy reviewers, and like he's such a great supporter. So yeah, shout out to Fuzzy Dunlop. Yeah,
I've seen him in a lot of chats as well. Definitely, it's like, look at the chat.
He's my only fan.
Only fans. The chat is where it's at. So go on, cool Keith, you big stud. So that's obviously Keith from Ireland. Then you're playing with my emotions with that question. I just missed out on a great eBay deal last night for the Hot Toys 1966. Managed to bag the Robin for £200, which is actually a great price.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, and you're halfway there. I feel the same, actually. Haven't seen a Batman who I've been 100% happy with.
Thanks, man.
There you go.
I feel like they've either done one thing well and not the other. I've never had both done well in my point of view.
There's a Wicket on Pop Culture for £141 if you still need one. Now that's Australia, though. That's the only thing.
I think that might be the one that my guardian angel has sourced. So,
wow, yeah, good stuff. I'm looking forward to talking about the presents. So
yeah.
Nice effing model toot. What am I missing here? Am I being slow here?
That's gone over my head as well. But I like the toot.
Oh, is that a reference? Did Keaton Hardy said that about the model trains in Beetlejuice? Possibly. Yeah. Okay. And did I just make that up? Beetlejuice Halloween show, Disney Florida was epic. I would imagine so.
Oh, man, yeah.
Angelus leather paint can be used to fix. All right. Any peeling pleather. Did not know that. Loco,
See, I'd
how
just
are
be
you?
so scared. I'd be so scared to like, even though my Hellboy's like essentially ruined, like I'd still be scared to do anything with him because I'm happy with how he looks now. Like,
Favreau's not happy. That's hilarious. My parents divorced back in '81, and Star Wars my security blanket. It got me through some really hard times.
Yep.
Again, like, thanks for sharing this. This show's got pretty deep, but we do really appreciate you sharing that kind of like personal information. And imagine, look, people gravitate towards. Some people gravitate towards sport. Some people gravitate towards like music. Some people gravitate towards arts or combination. So, really appreciate that, Commander Green. Another staple in the community. Correct. Keaton said that while he was standing in the miniature mod. All right, and kicked out. I thought. I'm glad I made a connection because I'd be disappointed myself if I didn't. All right, so you're going to start talking about the present because you've dropped some Easter eggs there now, bit of foreshadowing. So, what typically when we approach this section of the like what's going on, how it's like basically, I'll be honest, this whole show is a result of that silly meme, how it started, how it's going. This exactly. It's that and Christmas Carol, the Ghost of Christmas Past, Present, and Future. So it's fairly simple stuff. So we've discussed
Muppets Christmas Carol is the best version of that.
I love it. I would 100% agree with you. 100%. I watch it every year. Love it. This is my island in the sun.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, amazing.
Need one more sleep till Christmas Day.
And it's a heart wrencher. Gets me every time. The present.
Yes.
Like, do you know, like, I call it tongue-in-cheek, the body count. How many figures do you have? How many 6-scale figures do you have, like, in total? Where are you at? Because I can see your collection, like, for a man who's collecting only a year, you definitely have a lot of shelf space there. I'm going to fix this before my head explodes.
I knew it would be annoying you. Yeah, no, to be fair, I'm with you. So I have about 20 figures, I think. About 20. I've got an awful Kit Bash Stan Lee that's in the box. That's the only one that is not displayed because I'm ashamed of what I did to the poor man. But yeah, about 20 figures or so, give or take.
And like, considering, like, was it a year ago you started? That's a nice collection. That's a nice collection.
And I think I've been wise about a lot. You know, I've not gone mad, and I think ultimately, like, for me, it's vital that I have a connection to what it is that I'm buying, you know, a passion or a story for what it is that I'm buying. And I can safely say, looking at my collection today, I love everything. Like, I have sort of traded along the way with like the Shatari and stuff, but like ultimately now there's nothing that I could say goodbye to, or I'd really struggle to say goodbye to anything. So that's kind of a nice place to be, I think.
100%. I completely agree with you, because a lot of people, they dive head first, and that's cool. Like, you know, that's fine. But I find I don't have the space or the funds to do that. So, like, I really do have to pick and choose. And to be honest, I can't have everything, and nor would I want to have everything. I'd rather have things that I really like the design of, or the nostalgia, or combination of both, or really like the source material or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, I think 20 like is good. You hear people like, and again, like, people just start, and next thing they have like 100 figures. It's like, wow, that is a lot of money very, very quickly. And you know, each to their own. Like, if it works for them, 100%. And you know, but like a lot of time you see people flipping figures then after that. But so like, in terms of now, like where are you at? Like, that's just a number, but in terms of like how you're displaying, and like, how do you have like a particular retailer you like more, or how do you tend to buy figures, or like, do you have any, like right now, even like, do you have anything on pre-order right at the moment, or do you have anything on your wish list? They're like figures that you think, yeah, I'm going to commit to that, but I haven't pulled the trigger yet. I'm just waiting for a moment or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, so as you will witness to an unbelievable moment that, to be honest, I'm still pinching myself about now, where a certain member of the community, you know who you are,
Oliver Pilgrim,
you know that I can't express my gratitude in words, because words won't do that gratitude justice. But so Miles is coming. So I've already kind of got in my head what shelf I'm going to put him on and how to kind of, move things about a little bit. So, and then, I got told today that I'm going to be getting a wicket for my birthday as well. So, and he'll go, to be fair, that's an easy one, because I'll probably change up the display base for Luke to make it the Endor one and have wicket there, and just because that's a big thing, because at the moment this could have gone in a couple of different directions. Like I could have gone
you had
down,
options,
like I was looking at like getting Han Solo and Carbonite and doing the like Jabba's Palace sort of setup. The other option, of course, was just to kind of go for icons and not necessarily have it as like a scene as such. But now I've got wicket, my vision is to have that final shot from Return of the Jedi where the good guys have won. It's a happy ending. Everyone is there and they're singing along to Yup Nup Jabena Yup Nup that song. So I'm really hoping that as part of the anniversary next year, we'll get a Leia, but in her final scene with the long braided hair look. Might be,
I gotcha.
I might be clutching at straws with that, and I am also hoping that we get some more Ewoks, like the Chief and stuff.
Next
so that's
year,
kind of
40 years.
It's possible.
40-year anniversary.
It's possible.
Very possible. Very possible.
I'd love a Han and Chewie re-release as well. Of course. I mean, Chewbacca is debatably my favourite Star Wars character, kind of full stop. So. I'd love to have Chewie.
So the story about the wicket, is it is like, have you mentioned like someone's getting it you for your birthday? Like is that like as far as you're going to delve into that, or is it like top secret, or you don't have to explain if you don't want to, or?
So someone just told me today.
Right.
That they're going to get me it for my birthday, and as a present. And I mean, what do you say to that? Like, I mean, the kindness from people, I try not to go into it too much because I'll probably start crying, but like,
no, that's 100%.
The kindness that people show me constantly surprises me, blows me away. I got an AOK at the first appearance of Rhino, which was just an unbelievable moment. That was a Grail comic of mine, and to have that was amazing. Obviously, what happened with Oliver Pilgrim on the stream the other day, this wicket. I had a friend make me a Fiend wrestling belt. So a friend of mine called Sean, the Foam Witch. Do give her a subscribe and follow and stuff on YouTube. But the Foam Witch, she basically created me a WWE Fiend belt because I'm a massive Fiend fan. So the things like that, just they humble me completely, and I just it's always hard to express, or it's hard to know what to do in those moments, because
do you know what I think, like, with this kind of community, you kind of get back what you put out. So like, your kind of personality, your enthusiasm, the passion that you speak with about collecting, about pop culture, about films and the TV, comic books, how many people do that many cosplays in such a short period of time? There's no one I can think of. And the effort that it goes into,
no one that mad.
Mad in a good way. Who wants to be normal? Like, who wants to be sane? It's overrated. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, that kind of like the effort that goes into doing that. Like, even from like being on your Obi-Wan show, the Grand Inquisitor, the Imperial officer. It takes a lot of effort, so I think people see that, and people just go, you know what, I'm gonna give that back, pay it forward. And you're right, the community is amazing. Okay, So I'm going to ask you a little bit of a spicy one.
Oh,
I can still hear you. I've got to step out for 1 second.
Okay.
But this is completely your own opinion. I'm not going to debate or argue. My feelings are pretty clear on the issue. So Toys Wonderland, are they a scam? I'll be back in a minute.
Oh,
talk.
What?
Are they a scam?
Drop that juicy one and then leave. Okay. No, they're not a scam. They're a business. They're a proper business, but of course, they're a business that have made mistakes, and I think a lot of people, content creators and stuff, will sort of highlight those mistakes. But at the same time, I think with any company, you're going to have a lot more people talk about the negative experiences than you will people talk about the positive experiences. I know Shane made a video today that was fantastic and very very balanced, with his opinion. So I actually did have an experience with Toys Wonderland and Comic Sanctorum, who I think are like the sister company or whatever, where basically I changed my mind on some pre-orders of I can't remember what one of them was now. The other one was King Shark. Anyway, I changed mine because we're never getting the whole Suicide Squad, and that still hurts my feelings to this day.
It's a soft spot.
It's a real soft spot. I'll probably still end up getting King Shark, to be honest. But yeah, so I basically requested because I paid in full on the pre-order sort of thing. So I paid it off, and obviously changed my mind. So I queried, and to be fair, before I queried, I was like, they might turn around and just say no outright. So I was kind of prepared for that, but I asked for a refund, and weirdly enough, Comic Sanctorum, it might have been the other way. No, yeah, Comic Sanctorum gave me a straight up refund into my PayPal account, and Toys Wonderland, they gave me like a store credit. So that was the only that for me that just felt a bit weird, because I was like, because they're essentially the same business, aren't they? Like, and it just felt a bit odd that I was kind of getting a completely different experience from the same request on both of them. Yeah, I don't know whether it made a difference in terms of like the window that the figure was due to come out or what, but yeah, and in the end it worked out fantastic, because I managed to get a Pennywise, and I think I picked up a Ranger, with my refund on the other one. So it worked out really well in the end. And to be fair, Pennywise came when they said he was going to come, and he was in good nick, and so I kind of had no problems. But it was a bit of an odd thing that both websites had a very kind of different, almost had like a different policy, and also the way that I had to request the refund was different. So one of them I just did it all via email, and the other one I got a link to go on a website, and you had to kind of click and fill in details.
Made it awkward, like
online form. A little bit, yeah. It just didn't feel that uniform. But no, definitely not a scam, because they're just a business, and they're a business. Can do better.
They can definitely do better, I feel.
Oh, from the things I've heard, yeah, absolutely. And like when you say free shipping, give free shipping, stuff like that is like that's bare minimum. Yeah. But
that's one thing I forgot to mention in my video, that obviously their shipping costs needs to be sorted, but they'll do things like free shipping worldwide on the Batman Tumblr. I have the screenshot for it. You log in and there's no free shipping. It's just to get you to the site. That annoyed me. That did annoy me. They said, "Oh, it was limited time only." For what? 2 microseconds? Like, that was something. Yeah, didn't like that. But there's deals to be had. But it's just
Polka Dot Man was the other one that I cancelled. Yeah, I remember.
Oh, right, yeah.
Triple G has just reminded me.
Because they wouldn't have the full squad, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Question for you. You're getting roasted here.
How did you mount your cap shield? So what I've done, it's a proper bodge job. I can't really give advice on anything in life. I tied string so that you got the handle, right, which is like 2 straps. I tied string between the 2 straps, and then I've just got like hooks in the wall, and the string just falls onto the hook basically, and it just kind of hangs.
It works.
It works, yeah. And no one's ever going to see that back, you know.
Exactly. Is that the Falcon and the Winter Soldier one?
No. This is the original one. It's from a company called Cat Toys.
All right.
And yeah, they make some real nice, kind of affordable. You know, I feel like it's a stage above your Marvel Legends replicas, but then it's a stage below your like proper kind of like metal shields and stuff. Yeah, Cat Toys. I think they do an Iron Man helmet and a Mjolnir and stuff. If anyone is interested, but I used to have a Cap toilet. So our downstairs toilet used to be Cap themed, and it all stemmed from an idea. My sisters bought me a print of Captain America on the toilet reading like the news, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make a Cap themed toilet," and I made this whole Cap themed toilet and stuff. But yeah, recently I gave that back to my wife so that she can have a normal toilet again.
The Beskar Kid. I'll be receiving my 100th Star Wars figures tomorrow. Started in 2018 with Anakin. Whoa!
1/6.
But then again, 2018. So that's like 4 years ago. So
also, look at the thighs on Beskar Kid there.
Yeah, man, the guy's jacked.
The quads.
The guy's like, yeah. It's like I call him Quadzilla, and I mean that in a
drinking his 100th protein shake right there.
Yeah. I want to see what the guy squats. I want to get his squats out off him.
I squat 3 times a day when I need the toilet.
I've got OCD in seeing that droopy Luke light. There's a perfect name for a YouTube channel. You know, droopy Luke light.
Droopy Luke.
Yeah, was making me uncomfortable. Thanks for sorting. P.S. You gonna call the Ghostbusters for a quick home safety check? I might just. I'm waiting here, yeah. I'm waiting on Miles too. Got the branded shoes ready for them.
Yes, that's what I need to get actually.
No, stick the Umbros on for the laugh. I got Wicked and Leia.
Some like Oxfords or Brogues.
Yeah. How many people call their farts thunderous reveals? I don't know. The problem with the Devil's Workshop is their customer service. Yeah, they're kind of, I find they always get back to me, but you have to explain things a few times. Maybe that's a language or cultural thing. Definitely is a time difference. Man, I love the Suicide Squad so much. Completely agree. Polka Dot Man or Vigilante, you cancelled it. Oh, he was reminding it.
Yeah, he was.
Those Star Wars figures went straight to his thighs. That is hilarious. That's obviously a reference to Beskar Kid.
Yeah, I hope it's not a reference to me, you cheeky pig.
I think it's Beskar Kid. The guy definitely does not skip. Like, who's this guy? Who's this guy?
Building.
Oh, yeah. No, it's Lael. Yeah, how are you doing, Lael? I hope all is well. Thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate.
I feel like my dad's watching now, like with Lael in the chat. Like,
yeah, you know, we've been on our best behavior.
We have to behave.
Also,
ourselves.
For Say What on Wednesday, Lael, put me in, coach. Put me in.
Don't put me in. It's at 1 o'clock in the morning here in the UK. I'm out.
All right. Now, we're going to go to the bank.
Oh, make a withdrawal.
Okay, so I have asked you... I'm not asking you that because everyone talks about that. I've asked you about that. I'm not asking you that. Okay, I'm going to ask you a nice one. So, what's one figure that you know for a fact Hot Toys have released, but you don't think they're going to reissue that you would really like? So if you could pick, all right, that was. We're going to move on now. yeah. So it's Yondu
all day long.
Yeah.
It's one of the It's one of the best head sculpts they've ever done. That interpretation of the character from Michael Rooker is one of my favorite characters in the MCU. I think, 100% Yondu. Like, I just
I can see that.
Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yeah, I see. Graham from the Jedi Knights Watch. It's one of those figures he's always trying to track down. He hasn't quite got it yet, as far as I know.
I did do a video. Shane, of
really?
The 5. What did I call it? No one watched it. It was like quite early in the 1/6 scale sort of, getting into the community and stuff. But I called it like the top 5. Oh no, yeah, like the top 5 figures that Hot Toys. I want like your reissue one basically.
I find that if it, especially like I find that if I do a video that's like it has top 5 and then Hot Toys in the title, it just tends to do really well. I find like any advice that any YouTubers out there, I'm only like basically starting as well, but I just find that they're the videos that I would gravitate to if someone wrote my top 5 favorite Hot Toys, top 5 favorite reissues, top 5. They tend to do quite well. Like, and I know I'd always watch them as well. We have Dan and Dre. No one knows which one, but we know who you are. It's either Dan or Dre. They'll be on the Focus tomorrow night. Maybe both of them.
What if it's neither? What if it's like Karen?
An imposter. Could be a Karen. Well, Karen can't come. She can't come, but the 2 boys can come on the channel. There's no problem. Beskar Kid is having a good laugh at our Thai comments. The DX08. That's Joker, I believe. The Jack Nicholson Joker. Yeah. I put a bid on that last night on eBay. On a rare occasion, I get stuff off eBay. I think I missed out on by $50. I think it went for about $455, which isn't bad for that figure. I think my bid was maybe $385 or $95 or something like that. But I wasn't going any higher. I got a delivery today. Luke Pilot. So did I. From Empire. I got the same one. I got the Snowspeeder Luke.
Sounds like you, Copper, have had the best Monday ever. What a delivery that is.
I had a good Monday.
Oh, Shane.
So that's going to go up there.
Yes.
Somewhere where you can see it, because that was the most anticipated figure of the whole year.
I would really want that figure, but again, like coming back to kind of how I'm curating that Star Wars shelf, like I just didn't. I knew that if I got Hoth Luke, like, because I don't do doubles of characters and stuff like that. Like I knew then that everyone has to be in their Hoth gear, and it just wouldn't, like, that's not necessarily, the moment I wanted to create. So yeah, but it's such a gorgeous figure, man.
This is the thing. I never thought I loved X-Wings. Like what really, I think what really sealed the deal for me to watch like The Empire Strikes Back was the X-Wings at the end of A New Hope. I just thought they were just amazing.
It's funny what, like, even though like we both love Star Wars, how different Star Wars fans can be in terms of what you love and what you take from the film over what someone else loves and stuff. Like, because for me, the vehicles were always the least favorite bit for me.
And I mentioned Top Gun earlier on in nostalgia and the VHS.
There you go.
I grew up next to an airport. And I used to love anything that flew, anything, whether it was a helicopter, a 747, or particularly fighter jets. I just thought they were, just the design of them and the way they moved, I just thought they were fascinating. And in Top Gun, the main jet they use is the F-14 Tomcat, and its wings can be back like this or out to the side. That reminds me a lot of an X-Wing, the way attack position they open up. And I'm surely to God, the designers drew influence from real life things, so I think that was definitely attracted me to that. So the fact that he have Luke in, essentially, I know it's the Snowspeeder pilot, but it's very similar. It's essentially the X-Wing pilot as well, like, so it's
tomato.
And it will pop on the shelf as well, so I'm going to pop it in. I'm going to do a bit of rearranging, but I'm going to pop it in, I think, here. The troopers are all downstairs, so he
can go in the living room, can't he?
He's going to go down the living room. I'm just waiting for a few things to arrive so I can rearrange that.
And that orange is going to look very nice there.
Absolutely.
Pop of orange.
So I'm just going to read Copper's comment. I got a delivery today, the Luke Pilot. Congratulations, likewise, me too, from Empire, and the Fett 2-pack. That was a fantastic haul. Fantastic figures. I started collecting in 2012. We have a veteran, 10-year veteran. Figure count now up there to 150 figures. Wow, that is mad. But you know what? Spread over 10 years, like that's still, he's still exercising discipline there.
If I've got 20 in a year.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So yeah, lol harsh. Brother Cousins is doing Good Morning Grails on Yonder tomorrow. That would be interesting.
I did see that. I will. I'm actually on annual leave this week, so I'll probably pop that on. Prop that on in the background.
Oh, I've got a question here for the chat and you, Ben. So, do you ever remember watching a film when you were young, and you were watching it, and it actually, a certain scene really disturbed you or scared you?
Yep. Never Ending Story. The horse that basically dies from depression.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought he just drowned.
No, because the whole thing is that the gunk or whatever makes you lose faith, you lose the will to live.
I need to go back and watch that.
Yeah, so when he's like pull yourself out or whatever, and the horse is giving up on life.
Because I just interpret it as, oh, the poor horse can't move, like he's drowning, but like I suppose it's two different ways.
Mate.
But I remember that being very
sad. And the werewolf, the wolf thing from that film as well, like just that whole film. And I remember just like being mesmerized by the naked Sphinx statues. It's just the whole thing was an experience.
Because like I do remember that horse dying, and usually the animals don't die, but they went there. I remember thinking, I remember that actually disturbed me. But one of the ones that I'm trying to keep this PG-13, but the one that really creeped me out is the scene in RoboCop where they shoot his hand off. I remember watching that when I was very young, and that really disturbed me. Like,
I've actually only very recently watched RoboCop.
Right.
Yeah, which is like, I think it always surprised me because I'm such a nostalgia head, and like that 80s era and stuff I absolutely love. But RoboCop was just not something I'd never watched. So I used to do a show called It's Not That Bad, where I'd invite people to come on and defend a film that they love, but the general consensus is that it's not a great film. And I had someone come on and do RoboCop 2. So as part of my research for that, I had to watch RoboCop 1, and it's phenomenal. I absolutely loved it, and it was so like grotesque, and I didn't expect the kind of practical effects on the level. And I know that like Phil Tippett did the the robot stuff and the stop motion. So it was. I'm glad to have finally ticked it off.
But he's like I know that scene. I really felt for him. I really felt, God, this guy is so alone, and these guys, they are the most evil people you can meet. But even your man, like Clarence, cops don't like me, and I don't like cops. It just creeps me out every single time. And even the effects, that just like got me. But I really, really like the film overall, and I will go back to it, and has a nostalgia. But this comment by Pedro, they may never ever do Battle Damage RoboCop, because they probably won't. They have I believe it's the MMS 202 is a diecast RoboCop with swap out Battle Damage parts. You get the helmet and the chest plate, so it is diecast. You have the clean version. You've got the I presume he means they're never going to do it again. And then the DX203 D05, I only noticed because I recently did a bit of research for my reissues one, is the one with the chair. So it's the same thing as the 202. You get the clean version, it's diecast, you get the swap out Battle Damage helmet and Battle Damage chest plate, and you get the chair, which I think is a really nice touch, but a lot of people don't seem to like, but I think it's a cool display. I don't think they're ever going to do them again, but there's a site in Ireland called adverts.ie. It's kind of like an eBay where you can buy and sell stuff for free. but there's one going for €450, and I offered 375, but the guy, politely declined. He kind of said, "No, look, your offer is too low." So tempted to go to 400, but I won't go higher than that. But I think 400 is a good for that. Like it's not the one with the chair. It's the 202. It's die-cast, has the swap-out parts. Your man says has everything, has the shipper, because we all know how much I love them. But you know what I mean. He seems to be a legit collector.
Obviously, it's a term that some people throw around and some people don't like using, but I definitely think that falls under that Grail status, because it probably won't get done again, and because of how much kind of memories that holds, that film holds for a lot of people of a certain age.
You're like 3 years younger than me, cheeky. Yeah, so live on the stream, I'm doing it. I'm going €400.
Oh, hello.
Right, okay, right.
I feel responsible. Good God.
I was thinking about it all week, and I was like, right, can you get that on eBay? I checked the price on eBay, I can't. Let's see what happens. Yes, if Leia was here. So, it's cool you're able to appreciate new releases even after having collected so many. So, congrats, Shane, fantastic figure. I'm really looking forward to unboxing that, and I want to have it somewhere where you can see me. I feel like the ones behind me don't get enough love. I have Mysterio there, and Deadpool 2 is going to be moving when Cable arrives. The two of them are going to occupy the same shelf.
When Cable arrives, when you're 76.
Yes, it's my retirement plan.
Be like that scene from Titanic.
It's been 84 years. I bought a second Snowspeeder Luke to create the Dak. Is it Dak Ralter? Am I pronouncing that right?
Commit.
Dak Ralter from my jazzing. Is that from the scene? The guy who gets killed? Possibly?
Dak's in the back, isn't he? Yeah.
Dak's in the back. It rhymes. It must be true. They may never reissue RoboCop figures. I completely agree with you. Spitfire, greatest plane ever. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Artex, sinking the swamp of sadness.
Yeah.
And even the fact that this guy has is like a ring rate as his icon, that just makes it seem so much darker. Never ending story. Meanwhile, Death is here to tell us about the horse that's dying.
Swamp of sadness.
Copper, you're killing us here. Oh my, that scene gave me the I remember watching it as a kid. It creeped me out. I was terrified of Jim Carrey's mask.
I love that.
The whole movie, yeah.
So that's I've got the Dark Toys mask figure, and it's one of my favorites.
The Daft Toys.
Dark Toys, I think it is.
Oh, Dark Toys.
Yeah, there's been a couple of third party, but yeah, Dark Toys one. I love it. It comes with a Milo. I'll get Milo out. One of the best accessories ever made.
That is it. You know what? It's better than the Back to the Future one, dog, that comes, because it's supposed to look cartoonish. Like
the only thing they missed the trick on. He should have had his left lifted up, and he should have been weeing. Yeah,
that would be a bit more accurate, right? Seeing Arnold's head exploding, Total Recall messed me up. Yeah, and that scene from RoboCop where the car hit. Oh yeah, God, yeah, that was. Feezy seems to be more enjoying it than
the melting guy. Melting guy is.
That's some of the. He was in ER. That actor. He was in ER. We probably should have been sent to the ER after that, but he was in that show ER. Arnold's normal exploded head was kind of enough to mess me up, honestly. This one comes up a lot. David Bowie and the Labyrinth creeped people out when they were kids.
Jump, the magic jump. Are there jumpers in space? Do you watch Flight of the Conchords?
I dipped in and out years ago, but no, not really.
I'm a big Flight of the Conchords fan. But David Bowie's. I mean, a lot of the Henson stuff is pretty, pretty haunting when you go back and watch it now. You're like, oh damn! Yeah, Ghost of Christmas Future or whatever in Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh yeah, that's basically Copper.
Yeah, yeah, it is Copper. Yeah.
Do you know what creeped me out as well? Oh my god, I haven't seen this film since I was about 5. It was Willow, when they all turn into pigs.
I was talking with Triple G Comics Hydra Collectibles, and I've never seen Willow.
I feel like I haven't seen it. I need to go back and watch it because I believe they're doing another. I think Lucasfilm are doing another one. Yeah,
they are. Yeah, so I need to pick up on that before that comes out. I mean, I love Warwick, obviously. He's a sweetheart to meet as well. Very, very cool guy.
Have you seen the show he did with Ricky Gervais?
Yeah. Oh, I'm like, Ricky Gervais is like one of my heroes. So
did we just become best friends? Did we just become best friends?
I wasn't overly keen on his latest special, but yeah, I do love him.
I love The Office. I just think he nails David Brent. But I've seen him live. He's just like I went
to see him as David Brent. So he basically, before the David Brent film, so they were kind of trialing the idea. Yeah. So he did a couple of gigs where he was David Brent and for Conclusion, and it was absolutely incredible. Yeah, it was amazing. So a lot of the jokes in the film, like they trialed on stage, sort of thing, like with the t-shirt gun, and I
genuinely think he's one of the smartest men on the planet. Like the way he toes the line between what's acceptable and what's not, but always like has this like moral punch to it, like in the way he just calls out celebrities and people who are just like acting ridiculous and just kind of brings it back to basics. Like, you know, he's very, very good. Love his stand-up, all his shows, Extras. That monologue he does in Extras when he's in the Big Brother type of setup. Oh, it's just fantastic.
And like Afterlife for me.
Oh,
I can safely say that like that hadn't like a couple of the episodes had an effect on me that I don't think any other show or film has ever. Like, I cried for about an hour after one episode. Like, I actually had to have a moment, like, and you know, get cradled by my wife. It was like had that much of an effect on me. Incredible stuff.
The setup, how could it not? Like, it's the setup. Just the premise that he's lost his wife, and then he is looking at old footage, and he's really like it's very hard not to kind of put yourself in his shoes and empathize. But yet, the next moment he'll say something hilarious, and you'll just burst out laughing.
Oh, yeah. It was a refreshingly honest take on depression and mental health and stuff, and it's something that I suffer with. You know. I you know, have to talk to a doctor and stuff. That's part of my life, and like I really liked how he kind of shone a light in it, you know, and didn't do it in a way that was kind of like it was honest and it was real and it felt authentic and it felt like he did his research, you know, or had at least even experienced certain elements of that as well. So yeah, this show's got very bloody deep, hasn't it?
I don't know, but I appreciate your honesty. I think like
I think it's important to be honest. I think
yeah.
You know, us guys need to, you know, be more honest with each other about stuff, and you know, talk where we need to talk. And I guess what's so beautiful about communities like this is you've got the opportunity to do that with people. You know, not necessarily even about whatever it is you're talking about, figures, comics, whatever it may be. So yeah, talk more.
And you know what? You hit the nail on the head there. You're talking about honesty. There's I asked someone a question recently. I think it was actually on. It was Big Brother. It was on episode 8 of Visions, and the question I put to him was it was one of the focus questions. It was like, right, as a collector, he's been collecting for 8 years. He's a veteran in the game. He's been content creating. His channel's like 4,000 subs. He's just a seasoned collector.
I couldn't believe it when he was like name dropping my videos. I was like, Brader watches my videos, like fangirled out.
It's brilliant, yeah. And that's what you want, like. And he's just a really cool guy. But he said the number one thing. The question was, right? So a new YouTuber pops up. Can you describe like what will make you hit that subscribe button? Like, you've been in this game for long, and he kept coming back to honesty, transparency. Just explain, say what you think, whether you're reviewing a figure or whether you're like, on a panel or whatever. Just that honesty he kept repeating. And I think that Afterlife's a very, very it's an honest show. It'll make you cry in 1 second and make you laugh your ass off the next second. But no, that's a great show. Oh, it's that time again. So this is probably way past your bedtime, is it? Are you on? This is your holiday, is it?
I am going wild tonight.
You are mad.
It's 11:39 on a Monday. What is going on?
Okay, so I asked you that one. I'm going to save this one to last. I'm just picking out another one. You're not going to answer that one because that's a statues related question. We won't do that. No. Simple one. Do you have anything on pre-order? Do you have anything on pre-order? And if so, what?
So I'll let you know what I've cancelled as well. I cancelled the In-Art Joker.
Oh, well, anyway, it's been fun having you. Bye. Go on. You cancelled it, Jack. Go on.
Just kind of went off the idea of having it without seeing it first, and like, I think I definitely was guilty of getting wrapped up with the hype and everyone in the community. I definitely felt like I kind of got caught in that and
in the wave.
And in the wave, and I pre-ordered it, and then when I kind of stepped back and looked at my collection, where can it go? How much is this as well? Because for the same price, I could potentially get 2 figures to add to a collection that I've already got kind of going. I would absolutely love a Heath Ledger Joker because that is one of my favorite films of all time. But I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait and see, and I might try and pick up, one of the sculpted jobbies, because I'm sure there'll be a number of people who split the 2 packs and sell them on the secondary market and stuff.
So are you just gonna go for the sculpt or?
Oh, I wouldn't go for rooted. The thing is with rooted, I've got nothing else rooted, and I want my collection to kind of look as uniform as possible. So yeah, like I'd definitely go sculpted. The one figure I do have on pre-order is the Sideshow Collectibles Leatherface.
Right, you're a horror fan.
Yeah. I'm a big slasher fan, and slashers and monsters, boogeymen in all their shapes and sizes. So it's the Sideshow Collectibles. It's Leatherface in the kind of the more iconic kill suit, because they've already released one which is him in his black suit as he is at the end, but this is the one with the apron and the short sleeve shirt and stuff. So,
and is that like is that the original Texas? Is it Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is it is it like they did a kind of a re-release reboot of it recently? So it was the original one.
Yeah, the original one. But I mean, the design on the new one I absolutely adored. Like Leatherface was, and I guess that's kind of what you want from a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. But like, he was my favorite and only good thing about that film. So I've got a cosplay plans as well. So I'm hopefully going to rock my Leatherface gear in October, and then I'll probably start working on the 2021 Leatherface as well next year. So
good stuff. The Pedro's asked us there, can you see them doing a Top Gun line? I'm assuming, since you haven't seen Top Gun, I'm assuming that question was directed at me, so no, I can't. I don't think they're going to do Maverick, either original or current, because it's Tom Cruise. It's his license.
He won't give his likeness. Yeah, he won't.
No, I don't think that's going to happen. I've seen some nice third parties. It's just not something that I would chase. But like, if Hot Toys did one and it was good, I'd have a look, because I think it would lend itself naturally, like with the the helmet and the visor and the glasses and the flight suit. It would be kind of cool. Like, not something would be telling you straight off I'd definitely get it, but I definitely have a look. But I can't see that happen, to be honest. Wizard of Oz still terrifies me. Yeah.
Oh man, my daughter's named Dorothy after Wizard of Oz.
Right. And does your daughter terrify you at times?
Absolutely, yeah. She gives the Wicked Witch of the West a real run for her money.
You said she's a birthday coming up. How old is she?
She'll be 2 this weekend.
All right. And your birthdays, do they fall similar then?
So yeah, my birthday's at the end of the month. So yes, we're both July summer babies, both rays of sunshine in the middle of summer.
Steve Carell. Oh, I now understand this comment here. This is funny. Steve Carell is in The Office, not Ricky Gervais. What are you guys talking about? I presume he's being funny because Maverick is having none of them. Neither am I.
You know what, Oliver, though? I will say this. Like, the American Office is also one of my favourite things. And what I loved about the American Office is it just became its own beast.
I've heard that. I've heard the first two seasons mimic. And then there's parallels, and then it kind of just becomes its own. And Steve Carell's character is so different to David Brent. In there's similarities, but they are different characters. They actually meet in like an episode, and it's the best thing you've ever seen. I love it. I must sit down and actually binge that. It's so important to talk about mental health. There's such a stigma about it. We gotta get better at looking after facts, straight facts. Deadpool Red Suit. This guy, I presume it's a guy because I've looked at the analytics on my channel, and I'm pretty sure 100% of the people who watch my channel are all male. If
you're out there, girls, please join the community because we could do with some more diversity in here. Yeah.
I have the Leatherface Scarface. Sorry, Sideshow Leatherface. Looks great.
Yeah.
And Copper. Yeah. Hot Toys' very first figure was the Pilot Maverick, but I believe that was when they were still a third party, hence it's called the Pilot, which I'm pretty sure that's what Copper is getting at. So they did. I think it was the first thing, and they didn't have any licenses. They were basically a third party company.
Because he did Neo and George Lucas, was it? I think that was one.
Yeah, they did George Lucas, the director, I think it was called, or something. Yeah, I think it was. Maybe not. Right, so we've talked about the past. We're going out. Sorry, are you pressed for time?
No, man. I'm like, that's what I mean. I'm on annual leave this week, so it's all good.
Happy days. I'm surprised there's still 23 people watching us, but we've talked about
Why are you surprised?
I'm surprised, like, because we're just chilling, like, you know what I mean? You turn everything into an insult. I see what you're doing.
It's to protect myself.
Right, so we've discussed, or you discussed the past of your collecting journey, the present, and the future is kind of the trickiest thing. Like, so I'm going to ask you a few simple questions just to get you warmed up. Number one, do you still think you'll be collecting in 5 years' time?
Yeah.
Do you still think you'll be collecting in 10 years' time?
I think I'll still have my collection. Whether I'll still be actively collecting, potentially not in 10 years' time.
I get that. So you might hit a point where you're like, these are the key characters I want. I'm happy with this display, and that'll be your either display or office or man cave, whatever you'll call it. You'll be happy with that then?
Because ultimately, like, a collector's worst enemy is it's always space. We all find the money, or we get in debt, pay it off, get in debt again, pay it off. That's the life of a collector. So space is the enemy, and I am at a point now where, like, this office space is perfect how it is, and I can't add anything more to it, or I can't, there's no more room for details or whatever. So,
but there's plenty space in those beautiful module cases you have there.
This is true, but then at the same time, I do want to strictly keep these module cases to have one
theme,
one franchise in it. So yeah, and I made a video about it and stuff, but I actually sold about a year ago to kind of help fund my whole comic book collection. So I've got one short box now of comics that are predominantly signed books that I've had signed over the years, or like a couple of my absolute grails in there, like my first appearance of Rhino and stuff. And 10 years time, I could definitely see myself going, oh, okay, I'm gonna go out and just get like my top 5 grail comics or whatever and have them, slabbed or whatever, because I've never really got into like slabs, CGCs and stuff like that. But I think in 10 years, like whatever happens, I'll be collecting for the rest of my life. It's just a question of what I'll be collecting.
Yeah, the pace might slow down, type of thing.
Yeah, because my collections of, so I spoke about it earlier, the Star Wars figures when I was a kid, even at uni, and I was trying to get girls to come around, but I still had I had the Marvel, I don't know what they called them, but it was like a Marvel statue collection. The statues were only that big, and they come with like a magazine that has like a profile on that character. So I collected those during sort of uni and stuff, and I remember like the boys used to move them, and who's moved my figures? And then as I've got older, like I've got a Toy Story collection. As some people don't know that, but I've got a ridiculous Toy Story collection that is all in a box at the moment. Then Marvel Legends, I got into that, collected a bunch of them, sold those. So I will be collecting, but I don't know what.
Gotcha. And it's an interesting one, because even sometimes I think the down the living room, the Trooper collection, if I had to downsize, what would happen? And that's horrible, I hate saying it out loud, but like if I had to, the Troopers unfortunately would be the first to go, because if I had to like downsize, move everything back in here, it'd be like, okay, right, if you're going like one figure per shelf or whatever like that, you'd be basically picking out your 20 favorite iconic characters. You'd be getting rid of the Troopers, no doubles, and then maybe the 5 floating shelves would be dedicated to 5 hopefully very, very different quarter scales, and that'd be it. And in terms of like expanding the collection, it'd be more, okay, you want another 6 scale, well, one of them has to go. You know what I mean?
Something's got to give.
Yeah, so I'm thinking of sustainability, and hopefully I don't reach at that stage, but at the same time, I am a realist, so it's kind of like, if I do, at least you have some sort of a game plan, because I wouldn't like the thought of like selling everything up. If it happens, it happens. Your interests change, but I don't think I'd like the thought of selling everything. Like I can't ever see myself parting with that Mark 6 or that Homecoming Spider-Man, or some things that were got for me as gifts. But it's a definitely good thing to consider. You don't know when the SH1T will hit the fan, and you might need cash quick, or
My next thing is that I want to purchase about 10 to 12 clear stands, and I want everyone on a clear stand in these details, just to make it look cleaner, and everyone's got a matching stand.
That's going to be amazing. Yeah,
because at the moment everyone's kind of got different types of stands and stuff. So yeah, that's my next thing to invest in is some matching stands.
Good stuff. So so in conclusion, you see yourself collecting in some capacity for the rest of your life?
Oh yeah. Good stuff. It's a chromosome, I think, that you have.
So Ben, thanks a million for agreeing to do this. I really enjoyed the chat. I really like these, because it's the one-to-one. I love going on a panel with 6-7 people or whatever, but it's and that's a good buzz too. And it's great fun. but it's nice just talking one-to-one. I think you get to know the collector a bit more, like so. And this isn't the first time we've done this. We did an episode of The Focus there 2 weeks ago as well with Cad Bane, because I know that was a big deal for you that Cad Bane was dropped. But what's coming up on your channel?
So my Stranger Things season 4 review is up there now. If you want to watch that, there are spoilers for the season, but do give that a watch if you have watched Stranger Things. I'm going to go see Thor on Thursday, so I'm hopefully going to bust out a review for that either Thursday afternoon or Friday. And I'm thinking of doing a collection tour. Never done one. I'm thinking of my one anxiety with it is like, do I have enough? Like, I think I do, and I think what I'm going to do to make it a bit different is I'm going to pull out my signature and celeb photo op collection that I've got in like a folder, and just kind of show off some of those photos and signatures. So collection tour coming soon. ...
Good stuff. It's guaranteed views. Like there's a few. I know personally, there's a few things I'll always look at. A collection tour. I'll always watch a collection tour. Top fives. I like hearing like people's top fives, just as in like whether it's the G word, the Grails they're looking for, or top 5 figures, top 5 head sculpts, top 5 female characters, whatever it is. I just find they're quick, snappy videos, and I like seeing what people value in that kind of a way. So just very much massive chat, or thanks to the chat. What's coming up? Well, first of all, just want to say thank you to everyone, whether you've watched the videos, liked the videos, subscribed to the channels, engaged in the chat. I know liked Insta posts, or like Ben invited me onto his channel. It is that those connections are really, really important and really, really appreciated. Hit a big milestone today with 800 subs. It is, look, I've never made a secret of it. I love collecting. I love photography. Strangely, I love editing. I find it therapeutic. A lot of people hate it and find it frustrating. I actually love it. But it's very nice when you're getting that, engagement, and those little milestones do make a difference. So massively appreciate it. What's coming up on the channel? Well, tomorrow we've episode 5 of The Focus, and it's entitled My Wish List. So these are all figures that I haven't pre-ordered, that I do want, and to quote Wayne's World, oh yes, they will be mine.
Yes.
But I haven't pulled the trigger for whatever reason. I suppose no one sent the pre-order, but I'm going to just air some dirty laundry again. Last week I went through my pre-order list, and this week is things that I want that I haven't pulled the trigger on. I'm going to be with Dan and Dre from 6 Scale Reviews, Marco from 16 Fix, and Ben Thomas from the Ben Thomas Show, and Iron Logan as well. So there's like 3 time zones going on there. There's like,
it's a smooth panel right there.
Yeah, there's it's actually Wednesday morning for John, and then it's 11 p.m. for me, and then there's like the boys are on the West Coast, so that's like 3 p.m. and then Ben's in Canada somewhere. Canada's huge.
16 Scale figures are bringing the world together.
Uniting it, exactly.
The world.
Yeah, it's like the G8 summit. But and then the next day we've episode 10. I think that's on the 6th of July. That's Wednesday, episode 10 of Visions with Grim from the Jedi Knights Watch, who you won those module cases from in the competition, I believe. So
thanks, Graham.
Yeah. And apart from that, if you haven't seen my video on my experience with Toys Wonderland, definitely watch it. Comes with a trigger warning, but we can I'm pretty much going to address the chat and then call it a day. So Maverick Collector, good show as always. Thanks very much, appreciate it. Good talk. Thank you, Copper. I appreciate the engagement. Great stream. Thanks, T-Ria. Thanks very much for opening up and letting us be your outlet. Very admirable. Good stuff. 100%. Appreciate that. Collection tour is a great idea, even for yourself, so you can chronicle how it changes. Yeah, absolutely. How it started, how it's going. Beskar Kid, awesome show. Not as awesome as your quads. Have to say that. Thank you, Beskar Kid. Thanks for the great show, fellas. Have a great 4th of July rest of the week. Yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up there. So, people, thank you very much. Thanks very much for Ben. And yeah, we'll see you later. Going to roll the outro. See you in the next one. Good luck.
Peace.